Well, Richard likes to set a good challenge. He puts me after Ron Dermer, after Baroness Deitch, and before lunch. This is a tough slot, but an important slot. He asked me to share a few words on the themes of the 3 days of this very important conference, which, if I may say, is a kind of a rebirth of the significant organization of the American Zionist movement. The themes of leadership, vision, and unity. So permit me a few words on each of leadership, vision, and unity. We have had some pretty good examples of leadership just in the last hour or so. Richard Heidemann himself, Ambassador Ron Dermer, my great hero, Louis Brandeis. I was thinking, so Heidemann, Dermer, Brandeis, what do these three men have in common? Heidemann, Dermer, Brandeis sounds like a pretty good law firm, actually, doesn't it? Although, gentlemen, I think you'll understand if I say that the justice might have wanted his name to be first. And Richard, I think you're going to go third in that particular list, but it's pretty good company. What do these three men have in common? And I would say what they understand, is that the essence of leadership, perhaps paradoxically, because leadership sounds like it's being in front, sounds like everybody follows the leader, the essence of leadership is service. That the essence of being a great leader is to be in service to the community, in service to others, in service to a great cause, a cause that is bigger than we are. I think that's what Louis Brandeis got swept up with. He understood that this made him part of something bigger than himself. And I think when we think of the American Zionist movement, the organization, when we think of the American Zionist movement, the idea, when we think of Zionism and the Jewish state, we think of being part of 100 generations and hundreds of generations to come. And to be in service to that is the greatest symbol of leadership. Vision. Vision's a powerful word for us. It is the very first word in the book of Isaiah, Chazon Yeshayahu, the vision of Isaiah. But it's an interesting kind of vision, isn't it? Isaiah knew a thing or two about enemies at the door, but that's not what his vision was about, at least not at the beginning of the book of Isaiah. He turns the mirror inside. He wasn't afraid to look inside. And he begins with a clear, honest look at ourselves and who we are and what we have become and what we need to be. But not in order to denigrate the Jewish people, but quite the contrary. To elevate, to look at problems from a way to be solved, and ultimately a redemptive narrative. And that first part of the book of Isaiah ends with, if you will be willing and obedient, and the word in Hebrew usually translated obedient really means to hear. If you'll be willing and you will hear, you shall eat the good of the land. Always comes back to the land. So the vision is that which allows us to look at ourselves squarely. Not that there aren't others we should worry about, but sometimes we need to worry about ourselves. And to be willing and to be obedient and to eat the good of the land. And finally, unity. Unity is not easy for us. We know all the jokes about 2 Jews, 3 synagogues, but if we're honest, those jokes aren't so funny. Because sometimes they're not jokes, sometimes they're how we tear each other apart. Not quite a decade ago, Rosh Hashanah 2010, President Shimon Peres in his New Year's message wrote the following: "Our mission for the coming year is to strengthen our unity in matters that affect the destinies and futures of all of us. We must work together in harmony and reach agreements through dialogue. Solidarity, brotherhood, tolerance, and understanding are the foundations of a strong and a secure family. We cannot and must not allow disagreements to tear us apart. We must collectively dedicate ourselves to the well-being of the Jewish people." I think that President Peres' unity message reads like a mission statement to the AZM. Strengthen our unity in matters that affect the destinies and futures of all of us. and the hundreds of generations that will follow. Solidarity, brotherhood, tolerance, and understanding are the foundations of a strong and secure family. We cannot and we must not allow disagreements to tear us apart. And we must, from this day forward, collectively dedicate ourselves to the well-being of the Jewish people.